As the Winter Olympics get underway in Milan, well, the perception of the United States on the world stage has never been more discouraging or disturbing. For example, our featured video today comes from a prominent Sky News reporter in the UK who offers some very personal thoughts and observations about the last 36 hours regarding Donald Trump and his unapologetic racism. Welcome to Occupied Democrats. Please hit that subscribe button if you are done getting played by Team Trump. Okay, in our featured clip of the day, we take you to Sky News in England for one of the most really direct and disturbing commentaries you're going to hear regarding the openly racist post generated by this world leader. No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things. I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. You know, Trump's capacity for horrific behavior, well, it just seems infinite. And indeed, it makes each and every decent American, you know, the ones who don't fall in lockstep behind his global march of hatred and cruelty. Well, somehow we have to explain how the hell we got here to the rest of the world. Now, before we show you our featured clip of the day from the UK, I'm going to globe-trot over to Milan and see how the proud representatives of the US Olympic team are carrying their orange burden on the world stage. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the US. It brings up mixed emotions to represent the US right now. I think it's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. I feel heartbroken about what's happened in the United States when I'm pretty sure you're referencing ICE and some of the protests and things like that. I think that as a country, we need to focus on respecting everybody's rights. Yeah. It's been a hard time for the community overall under this administration. It isn't the first time that we've had to come together as a community and try and fight for our human rights. And now, especially, it's not just affecting the queer community, but many other communities. And I think that we are able to support each other in a way that we didn't have to before. And because of that, it's made us a lot stronger. I hope I can use my platform and my voice throughout these games to try and encourage people to stay strong in these hard times. I know that a lot of people will say, you're just an athlete, like stick to your job, shut up about politics. But politics affect us all. It is something that I will not just be quiet about because it is something that affects us in our everyday lives. So of course, there are things that I disagree with, but as a community, we are strong and we support each other, and brighter days are ahead of us. Okay, let's go right to Sky News. Recently, over in the UK for our clip of the day, comes from commentator Kamali Melbourne and is one of the most straightforward and sincere articulations from a point of view outside looking in, which should be a perspective anyone who actually cares about this country will truly appreciate. So, here we go. It's our clip of the day from the UK. When I first saw that image come across my social media, I thought it must be fake. I know the president and those around him have said and done some despicably racist things in the past, but this now, prior to being in office, Trump and his father Fred was sued by the U.S. Department of Justice in the 1970s for refusing to rent apartments to black tenants. He then in the 80s led calls for the death penalty for 5 young black men who became known as the Central Park Five, who were wrongly convicted of a brutal rape. And even when it became clear that they were innocent, he continued to claim they were guilty. And of course, he was the one who led the racist conspiracy theory that Barack Obama was not a legitimate president, because as Trump loudly and wrongly claimed Obama wasn't born in the US, that became known as the birthing conspiracy. But even with that history, and there are more examples, more recent ones too, I still could not really believe what I was seeing when that image came across my timeline. Never did I think I'd see a sitting president of the United States posting a video containing such an overt, unquestionably racist image. Now, the argument made by some that this video, when played in full, isn't racist, is laughable in its naivety and offenses in the assumption it makes about the audience that saw it. Its creator made a decision to depict the Obamas as apes. its poster made a decision to share it on his platform. Now, not that this should need explaining, but the dehumanization of black people in this way is a trope dating back hundreds of years. It's something which had for many years been confined to the dustbin of history, while still very much a part of the vocabulary of white supremacists. But something's changed. Maybe it's social media, maybe it's something else, but something has changed. We're in a new reality where for more than 12 hours, Trump's White House thought this was okay. Now, as I was preparing for today, my 5-year-old son was running around the house playing. Each time he passed my screen, that image was up. I had to move my laptop. I didn't want him to see it, to have to explain that, to have that conversation. But have that conversation I will, as my mother had with me. There's been an increase in racist language and behavior online where it's found an audience and metastasized. Now, it's hard to quantify how much it's increased as social sites
are many and desperate. But in the U.S., a study in the Journal of Epidemiology found in an analysis of some 55 million tweets between 2011 and 2021, a 16% increase in racist language. The New York Times report anti-Semitic and anti-Muslim hate speech jumped by 919% and 422% respectively in the aftermath of the Hamas attacks on the 7th of October and the Israeli response. And a study from Goldsmith University here in the UK found 95% of minority groups see racist content online. 16% see every day, and 42% of those asked say it was damaging to their mental health. So this sort of thing matters. Now, this will not be the last time something like this happens. The White House has taken it down, blaming a junior staffer, which is odd as we're told that Trump does lots of his own posting and it went up at around midnight. But at least it's not up there anymore. But the damage has been done. Whatever mask there may have been has slipped. The test for all of us now comes in how we respond the next time it happens. Clearly, juxtaposition is the challenge moving ahead for this country because 40% of voters seem to prefer this. Michelle Obama's walk, well, no accounting for taste, but please like, share, and do take care. And most of all, please also remember what it really means to be strong. They say, well, he's not serious. He's not. Everything a president says is serious. Everything that somebody who's aspiring to office is listened to. Real strength's working hard. Real strength carrying a heavy load without complaining. Real strength is about taking responsibility for your actions. Real strength is telling the truth even when it's inconvenient. Real strength is about helping those who have less or need some help. Standing up for those who can't always stand up for themselves. That's what we should want in our sons and our daughters. That's what I want to see in the President of the United States.